With ukulele, it's slightly different. So can you all go A-OK? Yeah, okay. So what we do is we keep that position.
I think it's crucially important to get young people involved in this kind of activity, both in terms of taking part in the arts in their broadest sense and in leading arts activities with other people. There will always need to be another generation of leaders. Kids respond brilliantly well to their peers, whether that be teenagers working with primary school kids or people who've just got into their 20s working with teenagers. The message is much more powerful coming from them than coming from me, really. If there are ways of developing models where adults, professionals, experienced practitioners can support these young people in that, then I think that's a great strength. They seem really engaged, they seem like confident, well-rounded young people, and that's what we're trying to create. Not everyone will get everything that they need from a formal education setting, so this kind of youth setting, young leader mentoring programme is fantastic.
Be so close, but then she came along. You thought she was an angel. She stole you from me and you can't even see. She's using you, please come back to me. Please come back to me.
It's amazing meeting so many new people, and it's brilliant, and I've made quite a lot of good friends so far.
We all have something in common, and it's really good to share our abilities and knowledge.
We've all connected really well, and it's just nice.
It's been really fun meeting new people with loads of different talents. I've learnt a lot from them, and yeah, it's just really good.
Meeting new people that have got like similar interests to me.
What was most beneficial for me was probably learning how to mix.
I liked composing and doing the recording last night in the Priory. That was really fun.
I really want to extend my guitar playing, but I also want to be able to learn a little bit more about behind the scenes.
There's the Arts Award, which will be really, really useful. It gets UCAS points, but it's also really, really interesting, the stuff that I get to do.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to learn all the skills. Going through the whole process is just great.
Just to learn new things, we're doing mixing at the moment. I've never done that before.
Music brings people together. I see what other people do and meet other people that do music to learn from them, but also maybe get connections.
I'd like to get more familiar with kind of more modern music and pop and mixing, which is what we've been doing today, which is I've really enjoyed.
I guess more confidence with performing because I'm quite shy, and I guess that will help me in interviews and stuff in the future.
This has given me so much more confidence because on the first time I came I was like, oh, I was so scared, I didn't want to sing anything.
Well, it definitely helped, but I think I'd still be coming to these events even if I didn't want to do Arts Award. It's just fun.
The fact that I'm around people who are older than me as well is really, really helpful because they're giving me advice on what to do next.
I've been thinking about a career in music and mainly recording or maybe live gigs. Generally a musician and using my guitar skills, and I think that this music leadership will really help me.
I'm Violet Gross and I am, mainly a musician. I'm currently doing my A-levels at college, and music's everything to me. It's my life and it's just everything I want to do, and it's who I am really, it defines me. I'm mainly a singer, but I've been playing violin since I was 6, and I can also kind of play a bit of guitar and bass guitar, and I got a harp for Christmas, so I'm learning how to play that. For me it's mostly just about something extra to get me into university, to set me apart from everyone else. I run a youth choir in Whitby. Well, I help run that with my mum, and so it's just really helped me develop my skills for that as well. We've been split into two groups, one of us working on the lyrics and the melody and everything, and the other group doing the chords and everything behind it. So we've finished the song now, we've written 2 verses and a chorus. And
That's taken about
it's not been very long, because I do everything from folk to rock to opera, and my singing teacher's an opera singer, so she's training me up for my opera. Wow. And if I can perfect that, then I've got a career basically. For my actual project, I want to run a festival in Whitby, a little one-day festival, and get local bands and bands from all over North Yorkshire, involving other people in the youth leader training.
My name is Matt Burrows. I work for Connecting Youth Culture, and we are running the Young Music Leaders project. We take a cohort of young music leaders who were already doing some music and already involved in various music activities, upskilling them in the various areas that they either didn't know much about, or they wanted to take further. But we always knew the project needed to kind of change and adapt with the needs of the young people. So it was always going to be a bit of a blank page. Obviously with CYC we have a lot of different resources which make us quite adaptable to be able to bring in different specialists, a whole different bunch of resources, give the young people access to lots of different environments and people. And we came together to submit the application to Youth Music for this project. We've been working with NYMAZ over several years, developing various different projects. Notably, the last one that we developed was the Songwriting in Libraries project. And interestingly enough, with that project, we ended up with a cohort of young people that were interested in taking it further, which inspired the idea for the Young Music Leaders project.
I'm Millie Watkins. I'm the administrator for NYMAZ, and CYC is one of our partners, and that we've got a long history of working with CYC to make projects happen for young people, and we work together with CYC to put in an application to Youth Music, who are one of our core funders.
My name's Heidi Johnson and I'm the director of NYMAZ. So what we're trying to do with this is get some homegrown talent really that can carry on the work that we're trying to achieve. And what better way than to take the young people who have come through some of these projects and develop their leadership skills and encourage them to take an active role in leading with others.
The criteria, I suppose, was that they needed to be keen and motivated, and they already had some musical knowledge, but that was quite broad as well, because we've actually got a whole range of young people involved in that, some with classical music backgrounds, some with rock music backgrounds, some individual singer-songwriters, some interested in musical theatre, so the backgrounds are quite diverse. So being able to meet the needs of all those young people is a challenge, but we seem to be doing it quite successfully. There'll be a whole range of different sessions happening across the 18 months. I mean, for instance, in terms of those sessions, we have a session next month where we're going to a recording studio and the young people will be on the job recording training. We also have live sound training where the young people, again, on the job will be actually doing live sound for a big event in Harrogate. So it's that real world experience which I think is quite important, and access to people that are out there doing it that I think are the best people to learn from, rather than a teacher in a classroom that has a whole vast amount of knowledge but they're not actually out there in the real world doing the job and knowing what the challenges are in the working world. We're currently at a very rainy Marwick Priory in Richmondshire, and we're on a residential which over the course of 3 days we're running a whole bunch of different music activities, and through the format of a residential we're able to cram in loads of stuff. Rather than it being a one session, they come over and they have to go home again, because they're all staying here in such a beautiful place and an inspiring environment, which is great to take people's heads into a new space and get them meeting people they've never met before. The format just really, really works. So over the course of this residential, we started by splitting them into 2 different groups, working with people that they've never worked with before, never even met, which really takes people out of their comfort zone, but they really sort of rise to the occasion. So we started with some creative music making, and they were tasked with creating a piece of music that incorporated all the different people within that group, and bearing in mind there's a lot of different players. We have everything from electric guitars to a harp to a tenor horn to quite a lot of singers, and there's a lot of harmonies going on. There's a clarinet, there's all sorts of different things. There's a violin. So yeah, to be able to incorporate those into a piece of music is quite a challenge, and they needed to think about how they could go about doing that. Facilitated by our professional artists, they're guided through a process which they then learn from and are able to incorporate some techniques and tools for their own sort of skill set tool bag that we're trying to fill up.
In this course, I've been doing everything from drumming on bins to actually writing songs to recording to everything really, and you can easily get just a wide base of knowledge from it.
For me, it's been the songwriting, because like not really as much as that. I've never really put a song together with such a large. There's 9 of us, so like essentially writing a song between 9 people.
Yeah, and writing for a band as well,
Yeah.
instead of just writing for yourself.
Yeah, and although everyone did their own respective roles within the process, like we're all so like even the ages it ranged like we're all 13 to like 18, so we're all different musical backgrounds and everything coming together and bringing out this song within like 24 hours.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I think one of the really great things for me has been that it's such a wide-ranging group of young people. Some of them are a lot older than others, and they've really worked together so well. You can see some of the more experienced ones taking a bit of a leadership role. You can see them stepping back to allow the young people to have a go.
I've been playing music for as long as I can remember. I play guitar, drums, bass. I can work my way around a piano and various percussion if I want to.
I like the recording that we're doing now, because in this band it's really cool with all the foam on the walls and stuff, and learning about how they do it in the recording studios. And I liked composing and doing the recording last night in the Priory. That was really fun.
I want to expand my my skills. I think for me, a massive thing is moving to another instrument, because although I write a lot and all the time, I've only ever written songs on the guitar, whether that's lyrics or melodies or whatever. It's always been the guitar, so I'm looking to move to the piano.
We started creating this piece of music on Friday night. They've then had other sessions on the Saturday to develop it, and had managed to develop it to a point that it actually it was beginning to sound like a really worthy piece of work. So we slightly adapted our programme over the weekend and decided to record it. I'm currently sat on a professional mobile recording studio, which is one of CYC's resources, and it gave us the ability to record those pieces of music. The young people, we're taking them through a path of the Gold Arts Award, and as part of that Gold Arts Award they need to get certain amounts of evidence of what they've been doing to both tick the boxes of what the Arts Award requires, so they'll be able to add that work to their Arts Award portfolio.
Another thing is like the UCAS points as well, and the experience that's going to get me to university. Yeah. So like it will be a massive help, because I'm going to go on to do music, so doing my Arts Award is going to push me into that.
A highlight in terms of what was most beneficial for me was probably learning how to mix and use Pro Tools and other programs and stuff to further my knowledge of recording, because as much as I love it, I'll openly admit to not understanding the majority of it, and it is an expensive process getting stuff recorded and mixed and produced and all the other stuff that comes along with it, and to be able to do it yourself is, for people in our position that are not starting out but haven't really gained a kind of grasp on the industry, it's really big.
My name's Erin Wilson. I'm 14 years old and I go to Tadcaster Grammar School. I'm interested in performing arts, singing, dancing, acting, and I currently play piano and I have singing lessons out of school.
What's been the most enjoyable thing about what you've done so far?
I think the recording, working with Jack, who's already really experienced in songwriting, composition and all that, because I've composed the odd song before, but it's never been like what we did together then. So it's been great working with everybody, and to be able to produce that kind of song was really good. So the recording definitely.
Yeah.
Today we had a chat with a woman that came in, and she was basically giving us a health and safety talk.
Mm-hmm.
So she talked about all the risks and hazards in working, like doing gigs and performances, and then she gave us booklets which had everything in, and then there were some examples of a scene that had loads of risks and we had to identify it. And then we talked about risk assessment and everyday life risks, like hair curlers and irons and things that you can burn yourself on. So we just did a review all about health and safety. I learned loads. I had no idea you had to identify and think about that.
So part of what they've been doing today is planning a project that they might want to deliver, which could include workshops for children. So some of them have been talking about going into primary schools and delivering workshops in musical theatre, someone was talking about, and singing.
My name's Tara Hill. I am quite a good musician. I play mainly classical music. Clarinet is my main instrument, and that's the instrument I'm really passionate about. But I also play saxophone and flute and piano. And I've got grade 8 on my clarinet and my saxophone, working towards it on piano. The second session I made was in Thirsk, and we learnt about how to music teach and about DJing. And then, what else have I done? I went on the recording day, which Rich did in November. That was really good. And I met up with Matt and Owen, who's going to be my project mentor, in December, just to speak about my project and talk through my portfolio and stuff like that. I'd like to get more familiar with kind of more modern music and pop and mixing, which is what we've been doing today, which is I've really enjoyed. Because obviously, with me being more of an instrumental player, I don't know a lot about music technology, but through this course I have learned an awful lot, and I'm really looking forward to being a volunteer at the AMP Awards in February, which is something I'm doing. Ultimately, I want to be able to perform to the best of my ability, and do a lot of work orchestrally or with my saxophone in, you know, jazz bands and swing bands and stuff like that. But I really feel that having something more academic and more permanent as a job that to do on the side is really key. The skills that I'm learning here are going to help me immensely, because I'm going to be able to apply classical skills to a classical job or orchestral work, and I'm also going to be able to relate to other genres of music. I've actually started to put together my portfolio. So arts practice wise, I'm focusing on recording. So I'm playing and then recording things, and also the mixing that we've done. So that's my arts practice. Project wise, I'm hoping to maybe do something with a primary school, so go and do a session and then give some information to them afterwards, so that they can then go and expand into any kind of instrument that they want to do or classes.
I'm Nathan, and I like music, obviously. I run my own mobile disco company, and I play the ukulele. I've got a place at college, in York College, in Backstage Arts, so sound and lighting and set design, stage managing and stuff like that. And then I hope to go do the same thing at university. It's been okay, really, getting to meet new people, and doing music brings people together and stuff like that, so it's much easier to get along with than like at school and stuff like that. You be doing all the music stuff. I hope to be able to go into more careers in music and get further. It also classes towards UCAS points for colleges and universities and stuff like that as well. Because I've spoken to Alex about how I could go further with the arts ward. I was thinking about going to Jim, who does the DJ school in Leeds, and doing work experience with him for a little bit, and maybe go into a theatre to do work on the lighting or the sound or something.
Gold Arts Ward has been quite a big part of this residential, because it's really setting the framework, because a lot of the young people haven't come across Arts Ward before, but the project is a really perfect framework for Gold Arts Ward, which involves developing their own arts practice. So that's what they've been doing, making music, developing their own instrumental or vocal skills. It involves looking deeply into an issue in the arts, so that's been really interesting. We've had some blogging workshops going on about thinking, really thinking about something that you're passionate about, an issue that you're passionate about, and then doing research into it and publishing your viewpoint. So that's part of the Arts Award.
Yeah, I do think that there's the support, and like I've been doing gigs and working with CYC for 5, 6, 7 years, so I've always known that I could come back to this. I've got the support and like various other places as well, like even just doing gigs at a pub, like you've always got someone to go and do a few songs at an open mic.
Yeah.
There's always support somewhere.
The way we've tried to bridge that gap is by giving each young person a mentor. So that mentor will guide that individual young person on a one-to-one basis through their ideas and the things that they want to get out of the project. So we've tried to hook them up with somebody that can provide some expertise and experience of working in music and help them to get where they want to go, really.
I've met up with all the young people numerous times and sort of been taking them through all the different points and stages along the way. I've been meeting every couple of months, I suppose, and trying to make sure they're on track. And they've been going to loads of events that CYC have been putting on. So I know they've been doing all the work. It's just about the evidence and making sure they're getting everything right and collecting all that stuff. That's really my job. I mean, I don't think I have to do much with them. They're all really keen. They've all been great. They've all had strong ideas. It's just sort of, I suppose it's ticking those boxes, isn't it? It's trying to make sure they're going in the right direction for the Arts Award.
I think that it'll come in very useful if I'm going to any job interviews or if I'm looking for a work opportunity, because it'll be great to have it on my CV as a solid achieved award. And I think it's different because not many people I know have ever done this or have even heard of it.
They've done loads of great opportunities and gigs and the studio and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, even if they didn't do it and didn't do their portfolio, they've had loads of experience.
I think I'd like to do, it's definitely something to do with music and the performing arts, possibly music teaching, and I interviewed a music teacher to get a bit more about that, to find out a bit more about that in my award, and that looks a really good option actually. But then again, I'd also like the performing aspect of it. I know that's very hard, and it's not always like a solid thing to get into. I mean, it could go very wrong.
I think they've all got great ideas of what they want to do and where they want to take their project or whatever, but I suppose a lot of them haven't organised a workshop or a gig, so all these massive ideas come in, and you kind of have to think, well, there is a budget, and health and safety and all these kind of things. It's almost a bit of a boring job, kind of reining them in a little bit, and trying to do that in a cool way. So I'm not just saying no, I'm just saying think about this, and I suppose it's normally just making it a little bit smaller.
I have done my website for Form and Communicative View. Research and review, I'm currently creating, in fact I've created a PowerPoint presentation and I'm showing that to my form, and then I'm also going to ask if I can do that in the assembly. And I might hand out these I'm thinking of doing a little questionnaire for people to answer, and then that'll give me evidence. Yeah. And I can also put that onto my website. Get involved in the arts world. I'm going to be interviewing a band at my school called The Article. They've got things on iTunes and they're really good, they're getting far. And I'm also going to interview my music teachers. I've already planned a date to do that, so that's going forward. And then Unit 2, going to Riverside Primary School and doing it for the Year 5s. Jordan, me, Millie and Charlotte, but we're all doing it separately. We've planned it individually and then we're going to put it all together. Jordan's doing the games and the vocal warm-ups. Yeah. Charlotte's going to work on piano and maybe even percussion if we can get some drums. I will give them a choice of 2 songs, and then we'll try and do some harmonies and maybe do some chords and get them to do the harmonies. And then Millie's going to give them a lesson on simple theory. My ideal kind of dream, if you like, would probably be to go into singing. Either a pop star singer or maybe on stage like the West End, for example, because that's where I'm heading. I do a lot of it out of school. or I would like to be a teacher, music teacher, singing teacher, vocal trainer, something like that.
Well, Erin's portfolio, the amount of work that she's done is great. And what she's done, the clever thing what she's done, which I don't think the other guys have done, is what I told them to do. It's use that book, you know, that guiding book. It gives you loads of questions. It almost sets you up. Yeah. So you can she's asked every question that's in the book, as well as thinking of her own, what she wants to ask. Yeah. But she's made sure she's asked every question, so she's done it twice. So she's done it twice without even thinking about it. And then she's done more. Once or twice where, you know, trying to get all 4 people and me in the same room has been hard. Yeah. And I suppose in one of the other groups in Northallerton, that was almost impossible, and so I had to do one-on-ones with I think it was 4 we had in Northallerton.
The great thing about Arts Award is that it makes you do as much observing and listening as it does creating. So they've had to go and see some big events. Like for some of them, it's the first time they've been in a proper concert hall to go and research an event. Their entire world of live music before that would be, you know, a bandstand or an outdoor stage somewhere. But to purposefully buy a ticket and go to a sit-down event, if you like, it's been quite a big deal for some of them at sort of age 15, 16. People who have already got a huge interest in music, it gives them an open door and a way into trying to get some kind of concrete qualification around what they do. I think it's quite hard to define somebody's skill and talent in a particular field, that there might be, with regard to this project, it might be songwriting, or it might be that they're good at event organising, or any of those type of things. And I think that if you've got something that has credibility like the Arts Award does, it kind of says to these people that what you're doing is good and it's okay, and there is a kind of yardstick that you can be measured by.
Like at the end of this, we're hoping to I want to run a workshop for younger children. So I guess you need to, because the people here are teaching us how to run a workshop and how, presentation and how you need to look and how you can communicate differently using different language and tone of voice and body language and eye contact, and how you dress and how everything you do can be, what you want to do can be conveyed not just through speech, but it can be conveyed through body language and all the other things. So there are more ways of communicating than you first realise, and you need to think about them if you're going to do a workshop, I think, yeah.
The ways that music can be used, how powerful a tool it is in helping people's lives, really. I mean, not just as something for some people to have fun with, but for everybody to have fun with, for it to develop their personality, to make them feel more at ease with other people. And I think that's amazing, really.
Do you ever think of music as a form of communication?
You see, I didn't really before today all that much, but kind of that's what is really good about these workshops. It teaches you ways that you can use music that you'd never thought of really on your own.
I'm Kira, I'm 16 years old and I am currently studying music at GCSE, and I'm part of a group called Rewind, which is a songwriting group in Skipton. I've really wanted to do some arts awards, and I think aiming for gold's one of the big challenges. And seeing what it's going to be worth when I go to university, it's going to play quite a good deal with what I want to do. I want to go into teaching maybe, so with the Gold Arts Award it shows that I can take charge and can run a group with music leadership. I've already interviewed Rich Huxley, and from finding out about his career path has really helped me to understand the idea of artists. Because I mean, he's self-funded record label, and finding out how he manages to sustain that's incredible.
The artists are at the crux of what we do. We can only deliver what our artists are available to deliver for us. So their skills, their knowledge, the stuff they're doing in their own practice is absolutely crucial.
My main focus is just to get as much experience as possible and keep my options open, whether it's go. Ultimately, I would like to just play music, but that can't always be, so there's teaching or whatever else. This is going to give me the experience, hopefully, even if it's backstage work, technical, whatever.
If you're a multi-instrumentalist like I am, you have to spread yourself quite thin and be prepared to do lots of work you wouldn't necessarily expect to be doing if you want a full diary, that is. And I think I sometimes wish I could just focus on doing one thing and put all my practice time into that one instrument or one discipline, and become a specialist, if you like, in something. But in reality, there's probably not that amount of work around, and that's something that perhaps you could probably do more of if you were in a big city or a big sort of hub. North Yorkshire, by its nature, is very spread out, so some days there is quite a lot of travelling, even though it doesn't feel like it, because you're just going from one small place to the next.
One of the major challenges we find in North Yorkshire is of course the geography of the county. Because it's so large, it's very hard to get high quality practitioners out to cover the whole county, really. So it's hard, A, for young people to access opportunities because they might have to travel a long way, and they'll be reliant either on parents or carers physically transporting them in cars and being willing to do that, or they're reliant on a transport infrastructure which sometimes isn't that strong. So it takes a lot of effort sometimes to access those music making opportunities. Second challenge is really in terms of the workforce. So often we might need to bring musicians in or take them from one part of the county to the other. It's a 3-hour drive from the eastern side to the western side of North Yorkshire. So obviously that can be very expensive in terms of time for that practitioner to travel, and also the actual costs of travelling.
People can't access their local music centre very easily, if you live out in the sticks. So looking at ways of tackling that head on by either developing a project that goes out to those people that suffer that geographic isolation. There's ways and means around it, but it is tricky.
Well, I think that there are areas the project could be developed. I think the first one is to not think of the project as having finished. Obviously now we've got a fantastic resource of young people who've had a wonderful experience and gained lots of new skills and leadership, musical skills, their own development. And what we really should be doing is continue to nurture those young people and encourage them to be leading more activities through NYMAZ and through its partners. So I hope that we can have an ongoing relationship with the cohort from this year's programme.
So today, one of our young music leaders, Tara Hill, is running her project for her Gold Arts Award. She's running a ukulele workshop in Glasshouses Primary School.
The thing that made me choose the ukulele was that it's a really upcoming new instrument, so it's really popular. They're quite cheap. My sister got a ukulele given to her for a birthday, and she has no idea how to play it, but it's just one of these things that they think, it's a really cool instrument, you should probably learn to play that. And it's great for kids as well because you can get it in loads of different colours.
She's planned the project out meticulously. She's got a whole bunch of resources that she's brought in. She's got goodie bags. She's marked up all of her ukuleles with stickers of where to put fingers and that kind of thing. So she thought about a lot of different aspects of project delivery and delivering lessons like this. And watching her in action, she's to say this is fairly new to her. She looks like a pro.
I've never delivered anything like this to a full group worth of children, and I've never done something as wide scale as we've done today. But I found it really, really good. I found it really interesting because you have to find different ways to include each child and be encouraging if one child has completely got it while the other hasn't, and you have to kind of tackle the issue of people getting bored and
and that kind of thing. But I think, yeah, it's been great.
Tara's an ex-pupil, although I didn't teach her. She came in and asked if she could do this for the children as a end-of-term treat and also to help her with her studies that she's doing. So I was really keen to get the children involved.
At the start of the day I was really anxious. Yeah, I was quite nervous as to how it was going to go and how the kids were going to react to the session, because I hadn't like pre-delivered the session to even my mum just to check it. It was a completely new thing.
They were coming into the classroom really happy and buzzing, and oh, we can play Jessie J on the ukulele, and we've learned it really quickly, and I can't believe how we learnt so much in such a short space of time. So they really enjoyed it.
I feel elated, kind of really relieved. The last session has gone really well for me. All the kids got really involved and were really chatty, and yeah, so I feel really relieved but really proud. Oh, When the Saints, which is one of the songs we've done today, I made like a chord chart for that, and also some individual chord charts so they can go around and have a mess about with row your boat if they want to, or whatever. And I also included a little leaflet to say what's in the goodie bag and how they can use that, and my own personal teaching leaflet saying that I'm available for summer and boost the lessons. Yeah, and I've done some resource sheets, so like I did my project plan so that I knew what I was going to do in the session. To get the ukuleles in the first place, I applied to the slush fund and got a grant for that, so I was able to buy 13 ukuleles to use, which has just been invaluable.
To be honest, I trust her implicitly because she's like a really good musician. She's got 2 grade 8 distinctions, and she's obviously very motivated, and she's done her research. And I think working in this hot atmosphere all day, she's done really well, and the kids have really enjoyed it. From the buzz today, we'll definitely have enough children to move it on from here now.
I hope that I'll do more sessions. It would be really great if I could do more summer sessions. And get paid for them. Taking them into here again, potentially, I need to look at the feedback report from the children, but I think it was generally positive. I think possibly slow it down a little bit and learn a song in lots of detail, maybe, so that kids feel they can lead it themselves. In the last session we had them singing themselves and also playing themselves without me, which I hadn't had in any of the other sessions, so I was really proud of that. That was great. But yeah, I really hope that I can do more with this, especially since I've got the ukuleles as a resource and I've done it, so I know I can do it again. What I kind of wasn't expecting, I hadn't thought about in lots of detail, was their fingers hurting. So there was lots and lots of complaints like, oh Tara, my fingers really hurt, and so I was like, right, okay, we're going to have a break then and we're going to do this. And that was something I had to overcome. Yeah, because I just didn't think really. I mean, I've been practicing for the last week, and so it's been fine for me, but it was a shock to them. And I wasn't expecting as much of a kind of diverse mix of people. So there was a boy in the first session who had his grade 3 guitar, and all the rest didn't know how to play ukulele at all, and so he got a little bit bored. So you have to kind of try and say, okay, well, if you've got your grade 3, then maybe you can do both the chords instead of just doing one. And that was a problem. I would plan for the sessions to be shorter so that it didn't lose attention span, because I'd planned to have hour sessions and they all turned into more of a 45-minute session and then a discussion about the goodie bag, but it was still, you know, valuable time filled up in that hour. Potentially tier them into year groups, because we had lots of year 6s in the final class and they were really confident. I created a questionnaire for the children, so I think there was 5 questions, and I used like smiley faces, so did you enjoy it, colour whichever face is appropriate, and if so, why, and what was your favourite thing. And yeah, so it's like a form, and they filled it in and then they're giving it back to me. I want to keep other options open, and I love the teaching side of it. I do that, you know, during the week, and doing something like this has been so fun. It's been really rewarding, and yeah, I love working with children, so I don't know whether I actually might want to go down that route.
In terms of the way that the project could be improved, I think recruitment has been quite a challenge, and especially given the commitment required from participants to undertake the project as well. It's no mean undertaking. So whereas some participants have been on the project for quite some time, for 18 months or so, others joined it more recently, and so have had a far more, I think, intensive experience, and I think in terms of their other commitments that might have been easier had it been spread over a longer period.
Perseverance is a big thing, and that's what we keep getting told, is that the people that, I don't want to say make it, are the people that enjoy what they do the most, are the people that stuck at doing that until it became what they did.
The difficulties around the project have been accessing young people that want to take part, really. Obviously, there are a lot of young people in North Yorkshire that like music, that maybe want to develop it as a career. Our original intention was to deliver this on a county-wide basis, which, given the size of North Yorkshire, that's quite a tricky thing to do. So combining that with the fact that the young people that have signed up to the project all have quite a lot of other things that they're doing, because that's the nature of the beast. They are interested in this project because they have wide musical interests. It might be that they are doing music groups on Saturday, they may have gigging bands, they may have, you know, even other non-musical interests, but they're quite busy people. So to find a delivery mechanism that tackles those two issues has been very, very difficult. Getting them all in one place at one time is almost impossible, but you know, that does seem to be you know, the way we need to try and deliver a lot of this project. There is the mentoring that goes on an individual one-to-one basis, but we have developed sort of music days and residentials where we'll make sure everybody can come into one place, learn from each other, learn from the professionals that we bring in. But yeah, I challenge, definitely.
It's the lasting connections that you have, people that have committed themselves to helping you out at points even when it doesn't benefit them, at least not anywhere near as much as it benefits you. And yeah, I think for me there wasn't anything before and hasn't been anything since that's been quite so inclusive as this.
The challenge has been the fact that they've all wanted to take it in different directions, which is great. You know, figuring out new things that they'd like to learn more about. So yeah, the challenge for us was to deliver on that, but that has gone very well, and it's all very positive.
I did not expect it to be this hard. When I first went to the first session in Ripon Youth Centre, I just thought we were doing this. I thought it was just a one-off session to do music, and I had no idea that I was doing a Gold Arts Award. But I'm glad I got myself into it, and I've been thrown in at the deep end. It's been really, really good.
Successes of the project have been the fact that we've managed to develop a cohort of young music leaders, and that we're hopefully supporting them through the sessions that we're delivering, so that it adds to their musical toolbox, I suppose. So whether it's somebody wanted to develop a career as a community artist going and delivering music workshops, whether it's somebody that is looking to go to uni and study performance, you know, all of the things that we've been delivering have an impact on that, you know, from recording workshops to live sound to performance to songwriting to, you know, all these different things that will be hopefully beneficial to each of those individual young people.
I did a lot of the lyrics for the song that we ended up doing. It's very weird to have people working that hard and putting their heart and soul into making something you've written sound the way it needs to sound.
music, how you taste. Oh, with the reflection of the moonlight in the wet grass and the frost on your face. I'll guide you round the island. I like being lost at sea. And the time I spend